If you feel burnout, you're not alone. And this is a comment I just saw on Facebook. Here, it's a doctor and they feel burnout and exhausted after 3 years into practice. So what do you do in these situations? So let's talk about this. And actually, one of my best friends passed away about 10 years ago because of a severe burnout. So actually, this is a really good topic that we need to talk about. So burnout is basically when you're just exhausted because you pushed yourself past your limits and now you feel frozen and you're not even sure what to do and you feel like completely defeated. And this happens when you push yourself so hard that it's very hard to even recover, even if you go on vacation. So let's talk about how to prevent this and how habits play into this. Because a lot of times actually negative habits have a huge contributing factor to burnout. So one of the big things is actually overworking yourself. And I've done this in my teens and 20s, in my 30s. I used to do double shifts, 17-hour shifts, and I go to college. Actually, I used to go to 2 colleges, a community college and a large university. Plus I worked 40 hours and I was only able to work 40 hours if I worked 17-hour shifts. And I pushed myself so hard that I overworked myself that I got really, really burned out. So that's one bad habit that's really bad for you. And the other thing is neglecting self-care. Self-care just means like actually doing fun things for yourself and you just keep doing work and studying and working, and that's really, really bad for you and you actually push yourself too far. The next bad habit that's really contributing to burnout is constantly multitasking and doing multiple things. You're not really designed to do complex tasks, multiple complex tasks all the time. So by doing multitasking, a lot of times you're just contributing to the fact that you just feel really exhausted. And the other thing is actually ignoring your boundaries. And, for example, people ask you for help and you don't say no and you're already exhausted and you just keep doing this. This is very, very common, which is basically just people pleasing. And all these negative habits will have a huge contributing factor for getting burnout. Now, what are some of the positive habits that will prevent as well as treat burnout where you can actually recover? One is mindful practices, doing stuff for yourself that's actually fun. I always tell all my coaching clients that you should do something for yourself every single day that's fun. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. Maybe going for a walk at lunch. I do that. Going for a walk after work, or just doing a quick exercise at home. And then once a week, you should do something bigger for yourself that actually more fun. Go get a massage. If you're into pedicures, manicures, and things like that, do that. Or if you like to get together with a friend for coffee, that's a great thing. Socializing is very, very good. And also the other thing that's really good for that's a positive habit preventing burnout is time blocking. Don't try to prioritize your schedule when you have all these random stuff on your schedule, but schedule your priorities. So every single day those kind of things that you need to do for yourself, put it on your schedule. That once a week thing that you do for yourself, that block a schedule for yourself and put it on your schedule versus just tossing a bunch of random stuff on your schedule, and try to prioritize that. So schedule your priorities, don't prioritize your schedule. Also, reminding yourself what a great life you have is really good, which is just gratitude. If you think about it, even the richest people in the 1800s lived much worse than even low middle class people today. We have a lot more comfort and a lot more resources that we have access to even than what the richest people had in the 1800s just 100 years ago. And also focus on regular exercise. Exercise is proven to be really good for recovery and mentally. It's something that you don't have to think about, especially if you're multitasking and you have very complex work. Exercise, I love going to exercise. It helps me completely recover, especially if you join a health club that has like a sauna. Sauna has a lot of health benefits, and just go to a place that you actually enjoy going. And this is really important. Regular exercise is known to help prevent burnout as well as to help you with mental clarity and recovery. And the last one is really prioritizing as well as delegating. One of the biggest things that contribute to burnout is constantly taking on more and more and more and not delegating. If you can't delegate, get a different staff or get different people around you, because people, you want to set up your job, especially if you're a business owner, you should be able to delegate. One of the biggest burnout that I see is small business owners, for example, dentists owning the practices, and they have team members that simply just can't do simple tasks. So you just may need to get different team members, but you need to delegate a lot of the procedures. And this actually separates the very successful people from those people who don't do as well. Being able to delegate is huge. It's a very, very important skill that you need to know. And you can't delegate to everybody. You need to build a team that you can delegate to. And this is really important. All the people who live a very comfortable, peaceful life, they're very good at saying no, and they're very good about prioritizing, and they're very good at delegating. And prioritizing, the positive habit of being able to prioritize, it goes along with scheduling your things that are important to you, and basically just scheduling your priorities. Don't just toss things on your schedule like I talked before and then try to rearrange your schedule to fit all that things in. Just simply schedule your priorities, and that's basically do that every single day. So that's how you want to set up your schedule. If you want to read some of the scientific references, of course, I didn't come up with all this. I have scientific references for all this. I'm going to give you all the references I used to create this document, and you can download this Preventing Burnout as well as Treating Burnout. It's a free PDF that's available on my website, so if you'd like to download it, you're more than welcome to, but here are some of the references that I used. Yeah, and you can get these documents, just simply download them from the internet if you'd like to read about this more, but what I told you below is just basically the gist of it. And the biggest takeaway from this whole thing is that you really need to evaluate your habits, because habits will make or break your life. You need to work on eliminating negative habits, and first you need to identify them. So once you identify negative habits, you need to get rid of those, maybe one habit at a time. Don't put so much pressure on you to completely make your life perfect, but try to work on negative habits and slowly phase out some of the negative habits that might be contributing to your burnout, and then start introducing new habits. And habits usually take about anywhere between 4 to 12 weeks to implement. So work on incorporating positive habits into your life. For example, saying no is big. A lot of people are not very good at saying no to people ask you to help them move and things like that when you already feel super exhausted and tired, and you keep saying yes, and that's why you get burnout. So also setting good boundaries is really good practice for that. So start adapting some good positive habits. So this is really the takeaway from this, and I wish you the best of luck. And if you're noticing that you're getting exhausted, just make sure maybe revisit these documents and these screenshots that I have given you, and start recovering early and start doing stuff for yourself that you really enjoy to prevent burnout, because it's really hard to recover once you get severely past the red line. It's very hard to bring yourself back from that. Okay, and I wish you best of luck, and hopefully this was helpful.